Hey there YouTube, this is Donnie, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to fix a rip or tear in a plastic bumper cover. So if you've got a rip or tear in your bumper cover, don't throw it away, because after this video you'll know how to repair it yourself. Now I've just cut a piece of a bumper cover off to make it easy to demonstrate, and on this tear or rip it's going to be on the edge, so you can see that it's you can see the edge here. And I did that on purpose so that I can show you how to ditch this out. Now the tear could be anywhere. It could be on the edge, you know, it could be in the center, you know, it could be basically anywhere. Same repair method that I'm going to show you today will work to repair crack or rip in a bumper cover. Now with any auto body repair you're doing, it's always important to wash and clean it first to remove the contaminants. I've already did that, so we'll go ahead and get started repairing this. Okay, first I'm going to grind this backside. I've got some 50 grit on a Rolock disc. I'm basically going to rough this up so the adhesives and the reinforced fiber that I'm going to put on here will adhere well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You don't have to dish the backside out like we're going to the front side. Just rough up an area, you know, probably a couple inches larger than the repair, so that gives you plenty of repair area. Well, with trying to work on it on the edge here, that wasn't working too good, so I had to get my helper here to help me out. Kind of hold it in place. So I'm going to continue sanding and dishing this out with this 50 grit. I've got it ground, I've got it roughed up in the back with some 50 grit. I've dished it out in the front. It may be hard to see on camera. See how thick this is up here, and it gets a lot thinner. Then at this point right here it's pretty thin, and then it starts to get thicker again. And that's what I'm talking about, dishing that out to wherever this has some room for the adhesive to fill in. So dish the front side out like that, where it's thick, thin, and thick. Rough the back side. And then you want to make sure there's a few little loose things on here, you know, that you get all those off. You might need to get a razor blade and cut any of those loose pieces of plastic off before you start using adhesives. Now there's one last thing that you want to do is get some 80 grit and go ahead and sand this and help feather this out. So we're going to sand this out some. And I'm wanting to feather each layer of coating out. Now I'm going to use a piece of 180 to go over that. And these are little blocks that 3M has. Kind of works like a paint stick for this hook it paper. Velcro sticks to it. I'm going to go over this just to minimize the scratches and to help feather those layers of coating a little bit better. And I'll go over the whole thing. This also makes sure that any loose plastic is removed. Now on the back side, I'm just going to go over it with some 80 just to make sure that any loose pieces of plastic, like this right here, I've got a loose piece there. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off of there. And you want to go ahead and look at this point, and if there is any loose pieces of plastic, you want to get those off of there. Now with any type of plastic repair, now you can blow it off with compressed air. I'm going to use a wipe all to wipe it down, but you do not want to use any type of solvents because that can absorb into this plastic and it'll give you some problems later. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it off. Now that's good and clean, a very important step is to be sure and use this plastic adhesion promoter. The adhesives may not adhere properly if you don't use this, and that's something that you don't want. You want everything to stick really good. So we're going to put just a light coat. I'm going to put it on the front and the back, anywhere I'm going to put this adhesive. You don't want to put it on too thick, just a light coat. Now you also want to make sure that that is dry. You don't want to put your adhesive while that's wet. That'll cause problems. So we're going to let that set anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. If it's cooler in the shop, you may wait even longer. Okay, we've allowed this to dry, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some tape on the front side just to keep the adhesive coming through whenever we repair the back side. And if it was misaligned or something, this would help keep it in alignment as well. Okay, now we can flip it around and do the backside repair. And again, if I was doing this on a bumper, I'd probably try to position the bumper where it's laying flat. It makes it easier putting adhesive. You can put it on at any angle, but I'm going to put it on so you can see it better like this. But before we get the adhesive out, I'm going to cut a piece of this fiber reinforcement that'll fit over this and extend it about an inch or so. So I'm going to pre-cut this. So something like that will be fine. We'll go out past the repair. So we've got that ready. I'm going to lay it right here so it'll be ready. Now after you're done using this each time, this tip, just leave it on there because that seals it off. The adhesive dries in this tip and makes a really good seal and keeps this from hardening up. So after the last time I left that on there, now I'm going to take it off. Then you just put the cartridge into the gun like that. And before we put the tip on, I'm going to shoot a little out just to make sure it's coming out of both sides the way it should. Okay, it's coming out fine, so I'm going to put the tip on. Now I'm just going to apply some of this adhesive to the repair area. And for the back side, we're going to use, this is a Easy Sand Rigid, and that's what's used for the back side. And on the front side, we'll use Flexible Parts Repair. Now I'm just going to spread this out. And now you can set your reinforcement on there. Push it down in there so that you make sure that it's covered. Then I'm going to put a little bit more on top. You want to make sure the reinforcement's covered well and there's no edges sticking out. Then I can kind of push it down to make sure. Now what I have is adhesive, and it extends past the damaged area, at least an inch or a little bit more. And we have the adhesive that's going to hold that on. Now the back side, that's all you have to do. There's really no need to sand it or anything because you're not going to see the back side when you're done. We're going to let that set up a little bit, and then what we'll do is we'll flip it around and then show you how to finish out the front side. But before we pull that tape off, we're just going to set it here and allow that to dry for a little bit. So now you just flip it around and basically do a one-sided repair. I'm going to get the flexible adhesive and I'm going to push it over and do a tight coat followed by a fill coat to help fill in this low area, and then I'll block sand it out with 80 followed by 180. This is basically now just a one-sided repair just like we did this one. I'll put a link to the video to this one. If you haven't seen the one-sided repair, you can just click right here and you can watch it. And it's basically the steps to do from here is to take it from this to this. Then once it's finished out, it'll be like this. You'll have it ready for prime, block, and ready for paint. So on this little sample piece, we've done a tab repair. If you had a tab broke off, how do you repair that? And if you didn't see the tab repair video, you can click right here and watch that. And then we done a one-sided repair, and that's if you have damage on the outside but doesn't go through, it's not ripped or tore. You just need to repair the outside. We did the steps for that. Then of course the steps from here, we'll just follow the exact same steps as this. Now I'm not going to go through and do those steps again because it's identical to this video here. But you basically just put a tight coat, followed by a fill coat, block it out, and get it ready for prime and paint. And this of course is the two-sided repair, where if it goes through, you need to reinforce the back side. And then basically you have a one-sided repair. Hey, but that wraps up this video. I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you liked it, be sure and give us a thumbs up. You can go down here and click the like button. And also be sure and subscribe to this channel. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you next time. A little bit bigger, and we're going to grind it to make it the exact same size. Now you want to leave it like that glove. You want it to go over just a little bit. So I'm going to leave a little bit